5 seconds remain.
Hello everyone, welcome to FaZe Dota Circuit Season 8 2025. This is Munchlo/Anthony casting I believe this is a best of 2 as the season starts between OverTake Gaming and Pause when it's Legend. To give a little bit of a background, I am a Legend player. I also play for Pause when it's Legend in a different league, not in this league. And I'm an amateur caster, and so this is going to be a pretty chill cast. But anyway, draft has begun. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. I will be joined later by a co-caster, Sorry, who is currently coaching Pause when it's Legend, so he'll join us after the draft phase is done. But anyway, first bands coming out. We have Earth Spirit, Storm Spirit, TA coming out from OverTake Gaming at first. Quite the unusual bands, I'd say. I think TA is like the only meta hero at the moment, so I assume that the spirits coming out are more for like a targeted ban for a certain player. A also comes out, that's more of a meta ban. And from Pause when it's Legend, they're going to be going with Beastmaster, Tinker, both heroes that when lanes are pretty commonly contested in the higher echelons of play. And could also be targeted picks. I have not seen OverTake Gaming play at all. I'm unfamiliar with these players, so I'm not too sure, what the type of a game is. And so I'm going to be curious to see how this game develops. We see Remaster being the final ban of the game, and then Pause when it's Legend picks up the Medusa. Now this is probably going to be a 3 Medusa. Just considering how she's played in higher skill games. She's usually played as the offlaner, goes Meteor Hammer and Gleipnir, and just super tanky with that mana shield. Very hard hero to deal with. And once she gets Meteor Hammer, she can just push down towers with the and just kind of unopposed due to how tanky she is. Now Animage is in the pool, it has not been banned yet. Animage I feel is kind of the only counter to this hero. You can go Diffusal Blade on certain heroes, like high attack speed heroes, like a Sniper or Ursa. They're going to pick up the Animage immediately actually, so this Medusa suddenly becomes way less of an asset, it's more of a liability now. However, showing your hand this early on with the Animage does mean that you open yourself up to a lot of counter picks. A lot of heroes just are able to jump on the Animage and do a ton of damage. If this is a 3 Medusa, you kind of have to rely on that lockdown on the other heroes, like the supports. Or even your like position 1, you may want to go with something with a little more lockdown, like a Chaos Knight. So already we have a pretty interesting dynamic between the Medusa and the Animage, and how these heroes are going to be, or how Pause when it's Legend is going to be trying to counter this Animage in-game with their draft. With the second phase of bans, we have Invoker being banned. Kind of a standard ban, he's pretty strong right now. You can combo his Cataclysm with spells like Black Hole, Ravage, RP, just doing tons of damage with very little skill required or effort required. Rubik comes out next from Pause when it's Legend. Could be a targeted ban. Doesn't really take too much spells from the Medusa, so I imagine that Pause when it's Legend is going to be looking at picking heroes that are more so
10 seconds remain.
Like large team fight ult abilities, stuff that the Rubik really loves to grab. And Caudal will be the final ban. Caudal Medusa is a pretty strong combination. Not sure if Pause when it's Legend really plays it, but Chakra Magic plus the Medusa just means that she has so much to stay on the front line. Jakiro comes out for OverTake Gaming. This is a pretty standard support hero. Very highly picked in high skill games. CC damage, good laning presence. And the double attack helps with a lot of annoyances in meta picks right now, such as like Weaver or Phoenix. That double hit really helps with killing off the abilities from those heroes. Another aspect of Jakiro is that it's a pretty decent laner for Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage lanes, if you're pairing the Anti-Mage against the Medusa, you kind of want a way to like chase the Medusa around. And if this is a 3 Medusa, she's probably going to go undulating. So having a stun versus a slow would probably be better. So if I were OverTake gaming, and I really wanted to punish this Medusa, if I was thinking this was a 3, I might consider something like a Disruptor to try and lock her inside the static field. Or something like that, just something that's not a slow, so you have an easier time killing a Medusa in lane, because Jakiro is mostly slows. You do have the Ice Path, but you rarely level to max the Ice Path, and a level 1 Ice Path just does not have that much disable. Coming out from our pause when his legend, we have Silencer. A good hero versus Anti-Mage. It helps you lock him down. It's kind of like a global duel for the Anti-Mage. If you're able to jump on him, the global can just help secure getting that kill. Not so much a counter for the Jakiro, but Silencer overall is just a strong support. They followed up with the Bloodseeker. This is a signature hero of Granola, who is the position 1 on our pause when his legend. Bloodseeker can rupture the Anti-Mage, has a silence for him. So that's, you know, these are 2 heroes that have really good CC to try and deal with the Anti-Mage. So our pause when his legend does draft to try and build up CC to be able to build up this Anti-Mage. Ideally, all their heroes have CC to deal with this Anti-Mage. You know, if it becomes overwhelming, you could see OverTake Gaming kind of relegate this Anti-Mage to like a 2 or a 3. Because running Anti-Mage into like 4 CCers is pretty bad. So having him be less important to the state of the game could be an answer to try and keep him viable against these heroes. I'm curious to see what they pick here. So right now, our pause when his legend is fairly immobile. They have the Bloodseeker speed, but that's not reliable. Silencer, Medusa, they only really go like 4 staffs for mobility. I mean, Medusas can sometimes pick up a Blink Dagger. But they're fairly static, so right now the game plan for our pause when his legend looks to be something like have the Medusa run in front and just kind of drop spells on her when the enemy goes on her. Magnus is a very good pick to try and deal with this Medusa because you can skewer her back into your base and just try and deal with her away from her team, because Medusa without her team can go down. That's really the best way to deal with her. I'll look at my stats real quick. Magnus is usually played by the 3 on this team, so this is probably going to be a off-lane Magnus, likely supported by a Jakiro lane. I want to see a stronger support for this Anti-Mage going against the Medusa. They may not know that this is a 3 Medusa. They may be expecting this to be a core Medusa, but with the Bloodseeker being seen, I imagine they're now second guessing where this Medusa is going. Kunkka comes out. That's probably going to be a 2. So we likely see all the cores on OverTake Gaming. You could flex the Magnus into a support role. If you're just using him for like blink skewers, he's pretty good at that, just as a support role. Magnus likes to be moving around a lot, and versus a Bloodseeker, you know, it's not, you can't really be doing that. So you have the option to flex the Magnus, kind of depending on what you see this 4th pick coming out for our Plasma's Legend. Kunkka provides a lot of tankiness to the team. Medusa just guarantees that the fights are going to be pretty long, kind of centered around her. So if you have a Kunkka, you have the ability to drop the Admiral's Realm on all your heroes, just to give you that extra bit of sustainability in fights. Sand King comes out from our pause when his legend, another hero with good CC and spells that you can drop on top of the Medusa. So the game plan is pretty clear for our +1 is Legend. Just have the Medusa, have a good lane, and then just have her sit in front of the team while Bloodseeker, Sand King, Silencer just drop spells on her, waiting for the enemy to initiate on them. And it's going to be very difficult with like a Magnus and a Kunkka with a global silence in the game, providing that counter initiation. Our +1 is Legend bans the Viper. One of the better ways you can deal with the Medusa is just by preventing the game from going late game. Animage kind of indicates that the game is going to be going late game anyway, because you usually see Animages farm to a certain point, then push. But they banned the Viper. Huskar is also banned, so OverTake Gaming recognizing that they don't really want to go late game. Or they have a difficult time surviving early game, I should say. So they ban out the Huskar, they ban out the Odie, two mid heroes that can absolutely wreck an Animage. And two heroes that are just like lane dominators, so that once they win their mid lane, they're able to rotate to the side lanes and help this Medusa and Bloodseeker have better games. Viper Sniper banned on the side of our +1 is Legend. They will pick the Axe. Interesting. So I imagine this is like maybe a support Medusa? I hear some fuzziness. Actually, let me make sure my audio is correct.
That was probably from me, because I had my fan on.
Oh hey, Sari's here. Say hello, Sari.
Hello, hello, hello.
I forgot to put on open mic, so nobody gets to hear the broadcasting for the draft phase of this game.
Works for me.
Everybody skips the draft phase anyway, right?
Yeah, damn true.
Nobody cares about this stuff.
Fuck.
I'm confused by this Axe pick, because one of Medusa, Bloodseeker, Sand King are of support. I imagine it's the Medusa?
Medusa is support as a result of the AM being picked. They don't want to invest too much in it in
Okay.
an already countered matchup. Axe is... it's
So
comfort.
apparently they can hear the cast.
What?
Huh.
I don't know. I don't understand. They said they can hear the cast.
I mean, I will say I'm currently hearing you echo in the client,
They can't.
which is a little strange.
Yeah, the echoes. Did I meet broadcasters? You're muted. I can't talk with them because apparently no one hears me.
Ultimately, it won't matter because
It's like at the end of the draft, they could just. I was gonna say, yeah, at the end of the draft, they could just start to hear you. Apparently, I don't know.
Can you? Do we know which of us they hear?
Yeah, I
Can
saw
you
both your
hear-
names appear.
Okay, can you hear
Okay.
just me or is it? Sorry, and I just.
Apparently, we're both
That's
being
me.
heard.
The heck?
That is wacky.
That's I've never encountered that bug. We'll test it in game. If you can still hear me in game, we'll just I'll mute myself.
We could just leave and watch on delay or something.
Nah.
I'm not gonna spoil any information. I'll just confirm.
Good luck.
Can you still hear me in game? I am casting on Twitch.
Yeah, everyone's saying yes. Is this a remake?
Prepare for battle.
It's probably because the lobby broke. Alright, so we're going to be stop casting here and go to the delay, just so that there's no spoilers.
Alright. Fuck.
Disconnecting.
Feels bad.
That's unusual.
Indeed.
Wonder what caused it. Hey, look, I can select my own broadcaster. Interesting. Or myself as a broadcaster.
Dyer's turn to battle.
So if you're watching a spot, you can just move ahead, but I guess we have Sara here. We can talk about the drafting.
Yeah.
So
Like, I see what you're talking about. I can select this as broadcasters. That's hilarious. All right.
So what do you think these
So you're
drafts?
looking at the final closing bands on your screen?
Yeah, 20 seconds on.
Alright, well, spoilers. I'm thinking OverTake Gaming is going to be looking at a puck here. Probably wanting to ban out an Outworld Devourer. I'm unsure what else they're thinking about.
No, there's
for our
no way
pause
to
one
do
is
that.
Legend. I think they still need their pause 3. They might go with like a comfort pick for Dimitri in the form of the axe. Just a comfort pick.
In all seriousness, since we know that.
Yeah, OverTake Gaming ends with a lot of CC, but not a ton of upfront damage, and not a lot of burst.
10 seconds remaining.
Really?
Definitely have plenty of control. It might be awkward for AM to join his team, but we have seen AMs take a more active build in recent history. We might see like a Vanguard Radiance, for example. Something of that nature, or like a Halberd. Probably not this game, but just as a concept.
10 seconds.
As for our pause 1 is Legends, spoilers, the Dusa is a pause 4. That means the support duo is Dusa Silencer. You got 0 CC between those two. The root does not count. Whereas they lack a little bit more of like just raw CC, they do have a lot more straightforward damage to supply. In the form of the Epicenter, in the form of the Axe, in the form of the Blood Right. And then the Casual Harassment Silencer Q, for example.
5 seconds.
I'm not seeing, like... I don't think I have a clear favorite at the moment.
I feel like Magnus
for-
being able to empower Kunkka and Animage is going to mean a lot of damage with all the CC that they have on Overtake Gaming. Going into mid-game forward.
As far as I am aware,
Ultimate choice.
this Magnus is speculated to be a support, which we will ascertain as the game properly starts on our end.
Luki is the 3, according to my stats.
Okay.
Escargot is the 1. Taco Bell is the 2. So support Kunkka,
Okay,
support
okay.
Jakira.
I will say I'm not convinced by this puck pickup.
5 seconds.
I feel like it's not like the CC available to our pause 1 as Legend is such that it's just a free game for a slippery hero like Puck. So it's not like Puck will just have a free game. The other thing to consider is who can Puck threaten to kill with like +1 or +2. Because Sand is gonna be a tough kill, especially with like the Eternal Shroud and the Bloodstone or wherever else. Axe is gonna be difficult to kill. Bloodseeker and Silencer are going to be the 2 most plausible targets for the puck in ganking scenarios early game. But at the moment, I'm not convinced it will warrant its inclusion in this draft.
Yeah, I agree. They only really have like boat and macro to really combo with all the area CC, like lock heroes in one position that they have. I may have preferred to see maybe something like a Warlock. Actually, no, it's a mid. In terms of mids, maybe something like a Quap, just for that burst. Whatever like area ground targeted abilities are that like do damage over time.
I haven't. I don't have a clear pick in my mind of what I would have preferred to see. Also, now we are currently seeing in all chat all the players saying that they could hear us casters, and so in around 5 seconds we DC'd, and now we're here.
Yeah, didn't miss anything.
Dire is all running middle, but with no smoke. There we go, there's the smoke. Same thing on Radiant. Are we gonna have a rune play where teams actually meet each other? Because that feels so rare these days.
Get these stats up. Fancy cam on. But
Fuck me.
to introduce the teams real quick, we got King on the Kunkka, Escargot on the Animage, Apex on the Jakiro, Luki on the Magnus, Taco Bell Greeter on the Puck. That's on the side of Overtake Gaming. On the side of our pause 1 is Legend, we have Granola. On the Bloodseeker, Dimitri on the Axe. Emu on the Sand King, Seal on the Medusa, and Trabs on the Silencer. Both teams smoking up, going into the opposing jungles, and their paths have made them not meet each other. They're just gonna be camping high ground, waiting for nothing.
Is the rune spawn really that dramatically different that it leads to this almost every time? Because I feel like it's not that dramatically different, but this is what almost always happens. Rune spawn and nothing. You know, no one gets into any sort of scuffles.
I mean, occasionally you'll see a team that their teams clash together, like that happened in
But
the
it
last
definitely
game
feels like it happens a lot less in the current patch and a map configuration.
Well,
I don't know if that's just confirmation bias, but it definitely that's the vibe I got. Looks like Dire's gonna go for a kill here as they run to their lane.
Yeah, X
They've got
hiding
the
in
washer
trees.
captured, so we'll see if they run that way. Oh, this hero's in trouble.
Oh, he's got a lot of HP. He's a pretty slow hero, though. You're just gonna be able to right-click him down with that battle hunger, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this move.
Who's gonna get the first blood? On the X.
Top lane, we got Bloodseeker Dusa, 5 Dusa, versus Kunkka Magnus. We might see a kill or two top. I don't think I'm expecting a whole lot.
I think with the combination of X and Skewer, there's a great potential for kills.
There
up
is
there.
definitely potential there, that's true.
In the mid lane, I feel like it could go either way between the Sand King and Puck. Both heroes doing quite a bit of magic damage. Sand King has that CC to be able to disable the Puck should she go out of, or it go out of position.
My guess is that nobody dies middle and Sand King wins the lane off of CS. That's my current prediction. If Sand King has time, you can also make stacks and take those in the interim. I feel like it's an uphill battle for Puck. Not only in the lane, but also to make something happen with rotations, because just staying middle will not cut it, I think, in this game.
Do you feel like there are any heroes on either side where it's really important that they have a good laning phase?
Obviously everyone would like it, but I don't feel like anyone needs to have a good laning phase otherwise. Like, I guess if it's anybody, it's Puck,
It's Puck? Okay.
I think. Lots of spells, lots of right clicks being traded bottom. That's definitely where I expect to see the most kills during the laning phase.
Yeah, double slow on the side of Dire between the Battle Hunger and the Arcane Curse. Jakiro is a pretty slow hero, so it just takes one misstep out of position. They can just run him down.
It is a pretty obnoxious lane, and they are against an obnoxious support in the form of Jakiro, but 2 obnoxious people versus 1. I don't like that math. They're going on the Medusa top a little bit? Nah. Alright, actually, there's
She's
max
pretty
mark, but I think they're
tanky.
done.
She's got double mango, so she, in actuality, she's still full HP. Have you seen
is
Medusa
this spawn?
5 played at all?
Not 5 specifically.
Like a
I
support
think it's
Medusa
kind
one?
of... It's probably better. It's...
Right in the
I'm
top
kind of of
loaded.
2 minds about it, because you want her to get a little bit of farm, which a 4 will do.
But Secret chasing
But
down the
a 4 wants
front
to be able to roam.
Yeah. I mean, Medusa is so
probably-
slow, it doesn't really feel like there's a roaming period.
It's probably easier to execute the draft when Dusa is 5.
Alright, lots of action happening right here. We have a big fight over the Lotus top. Meanwhile, bottom, Silencer and Jakiro both dying.
Indeed.
Not sure what happened down there since we were looking top, but I imagine there's just kind of a brawl and all the heroes are right between each other. It was the supports that ended up dying.
The mid disparity is starting to widen. We got 22-7 on Sand King versus 13-1 on Puck.
Yeah.
They are quite close on XP. Makes sense, but still definitely ahead of the Sand King. Right now it's a lot worse, but Puck's about to get a...
They're gonna go on the Silencer bottom. Animage blinks ahead. He's pretty slow from the Jakiro, but nice axe call. Catches 2 of them. Silencer starts running away. No boots on him so far.
Oh, that hit mana burn. Oh, he got the Q off.
Arcane
Had the stick.
doing a lot.
Nice kill.
Can the X get the Animage? In response, nice body block from the Jakiro. Animage getting dulled. Ooh, Battle Hunger at the
The
very
thirst
end.
passive
He
game vision.
cancels the
That's a
TP.
oh, that's a disaster.
Loses his life and the TP.
I get it too, because he started the TP and was like, this isn't gonna work. Dude, that's rough.
I'm not sure why he canceled it anyway, though. Like, what was the point of uncanceling it? Oh, going for a ward? Oh wait, that was a sick play by Jakiro, actually. He put down the sentry ward so the enemy mage could deny it to try and get the battle hunger off. But, I mean, there's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's never going to be enough time to do that, though.
That's sick. That's so
Holy,
sick.
that is a very high skill.
Yeah, that's very cool. Now we're looking at 32-7 versus 18-1 for the puck. It's getting dicey. Puck's gonna have to try and get something done elsewhere because there's not gonna be any reasonable kill threat on the Sand King.
Yeah, or stack jungle camps or something. Just Sand King's gonna shove out these lanes.
One thing that's kind of rough here is I feel like there's not a lot of rotations for Radiant to make, but Deuce is gone. I think she's okay.
For mid?
Right. I feel like there's not a whole lot of rotations they can make that feel clean, just as a result of like the kind of mediocre damage they have for a while. Like there's some damage, but it's not like enough. I feel like it's gonna take some effort to get people killed.
Which team are you talking about?
I'm talking about Radiant's damage.
Okay, Radiant. Yeah, I agree. I mean, once this puck gets 6, that's gonna be a nice nuke. And she could probably like go top and find a kill up there. We have a gate rotation by the sounds. We're looking to go on Granola, or like we're gonna go on top, but Granola gets gone on with X. Arcane Curse cast on the Magnus, pushing him away. Gotta be careful. I mean, the combo up here is really X marks the spot plus the skewer, I feel, so it's you just gotta be aware you can't get too close to the enemy tower, or else you're gonna get comboed. But this gets pretty low there. 3 heroes right clicking the Kunkka. Has the Admiral's run spell.
This is big.
Ooh,
huge foil.
Nice rotation. Gets the 6, immediately TP's top. Gets a 3-man foil, breaks on all 3. So much damage. Bloodseeker now getting a little low. The Blood Wraith is going to push away these Radiant heroes from chasing him.
It certainly helps out if they can start the gank attempts with a little bit of trading. People are not going from full to empty. Then you can definitely get a lot done with the damage you have on offer. Emu is fighting for this Wisdom Rune though, which I like.
Ooh, he might pick up a free kill here on the Kunkka. I think it was a blind stun. If that was a blind stun, that was sick. Just taking off the Kunkka there.
It makes sense because if someone's there and you don't stun, they're just gonna grab it right in front of your face.
Yeah.
You got to be on the AoE in time. So both Wisdoms going the way of Dire. That's a huge deal. Axe currently topping the network, followed closely by Sand King and then Magnus. I think this is gonna be tricky for Radiant to navigate.
Radiant's middle tower.
And once they have like some big spells like RP and Boat, I don't think that makes it a whole lot easier. There's gonna be a lot of pressure on those spells, like getting something done. And even if they do, those are big cooldowns that are.
Yeah, I was talking about this in the draft. I was thinking that actually they're gonna find an AMH down here. It did blink away, but Axe was nearby. Yeah, we'll just walk up Berserker Golem, finish that kill.
Can't get the dunk though.
Yep, just never enough mana. But I was saying during the draft, I was thinking that this Medusa was a 3, so I was guessing
that was most likely the intention.
Yeah.
But once you're seeing the AM, you really have to
gotta sack it.
Pull out your investment as much as you can.
Yeah, but I was thinking like the game plan for Dire is really going to be have this Medusa get farmed and then just kind of like sit behind her and then drop all these spells on top of her, like the Epicenter.
Skewer on Medusa.
Yep. Medusa gets gone on.
Oh
has
my god.
A ton of burst heal though. Goes back to full, but 3 heroes right clicking her. She's getting super low. Whenever
So
right click's
close.
gonna do it. Oh,
She's gone.
Shockwave comes
Puck's
up,
back.
finishing the kill.
Deja vu.
Puck comes up, 2-man Dream Coil. Onto, where's the damage though? Yukiro with no macro pile. Radiant are gonna have to run away, I feel like. It seems like they're waiting around though, probably waiting for spells. With the Sand King up there, maybe that's not what you want to do. Ooh, nice dodge on the puck.
Outplayed. Oh!
Magnus skewers in.
Huge.
2-man. Oh, 3-man RP. Bringing 2 heroes really low. Silencer and the Sand King. Sand King 1 hit away. Do they have detection for him? Silencer goes down to the Chikiro in the back. Granola on the Bloodseeker having to run away. Medusa meanwhile respawns. TP's in, finds the awesome Gorgon's Grass on Kunkka and Puck, bringing them down. That gives the 6 for the Bloodseeker, who ruptures the Magnus.
Unlucky.
Kills him on the skewer. Sand King lived through that, by the way, so big kill. Unavoidably secured by the Radiant. Now Jakiro getting low under tower.
Huge ice path.
Yeah, nice 3-man ice path will ensure his survival.
So all while this is going on, AM and Axe are just CSing. I still think this favors Pause one as Legend. One, because big spells were used by Radiant for kind of a middling result. Like, they did okay, but it wasn't like a blowout, which it probably needed to be.
Well, the Sand King survived. They only lost 2 heroes there, so just monetarily wise, it was in favor for them.
And also keep in mind, Axe is just going to keep farming until he gets Blink, and then he's also going to be a real threat for Dire. He's going to be down to make plays, and he can threaten to kill anyone with some backup. It's not quite the same for Radiant. They can't just go on any particular target. And some of these targets on Dire are going to require a lot of investment and heroes to show up to make it happen. And that's just going to compound over time. If I were in Radiant's shoes, they're going on AM here, actually.
Yeah, casting a couple spells on him. He's going to be silenced up for the time
Probably
being.
gets out, but it's good harass.
Yeah, there's no blink on the axe thus far, so NUH does have that blink escape. Goes low ground. That's not a good blink, though, I feel. Axe is going to be able to run this AM down with the right click. Blade Mill comes out. That's a kill.
Again, gets mana drained too hard, can't dodge.
Meanwhile, on the top lane, we have a skewer by Magnus, floating Bloodseeker out of position. He drops the Rupture onto the Magnus. Medusa coming up with the Mystic Snake, bringing them both pretty low. 3 heroes dead on the side of Radiant, 2 in this fight. So it's a 2 for 1. The Bloodseeker does go down, though. That's a pretty big kill.
There was... I don't know how many people on Radiant were technically available to help out the AM, but I suspect that they may not have wanted to, because like they're in the middle of trying to make a play.
Yep.
Oh, Coil misses.
Ooh, Dream Coil
I think
missed
if
on
the
the
Coil
Sand
hits, I'm actually not certain that Sand King dies. If the Orb hit and the Coil hit, definitely, but the Orb already missed. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
Bit hopeful on this level 10 Sand King. Pretty low on resources. Now there's a Kunkka, though. They do have the detection. Pop the X on him. Combo, I feel like this could be enough magic damage here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. That's solid. 12-minute
Nice rotation by the
go grab
Kunkka.
that from Puck.
Sand King maybe playing a little bit too confident with that Dream Coil cooldown off.
Yeah.
And Kunkka able to make the easy rotation.
I'm hoping to see Radiant keep up this momentum where they've been able to snatch it. Kind of like take a smoke or two, and they should deal with this Axe at least once, I would say.
Yeah, he has not had any trouble down south. Kunkka missing the combo on Silencer. Probably would have been a dead Silencer, I feel, the Puck combination on top of that. Sand King TP's mid. Gonna be a go on the Kunkka here. Blinks forward on the Sand King, yep. Just a lot of damage from these 3 heroes coming out. And the support Kunkka just doesn't have any kind of tanky items to help him survive that.
How much Pro Dota Sand King have you seen lately?
I have not really been watching that much pro games. I know he's somewhat common pick, though.
Because last I've seen, and I haven't seen like a small sample size, but Blink on Sand King, you do not see a whole lot of. I like it here because it just lets you keep going aggro, but I'm quite certain it's a departure from the default.
Especially with the animation in the game. Global committed, Sand King initiated on the Puck, Epi coming out as well. They're dropping a lot of spells for this Puck. It does go down. 4 heroes mid. The Axe finally rotated, but he's going to TP back bottom immediately afterwards. This fight's not over yet as Magnus finds the skewer on Sand King. Macro being dropped under tower. Medusa Stonegate is kind of splitting up these Radiant heroes, though. Magnus being caught a little bit out of position, running into the trees for now. Nice RP onto 2 heroes. Dimitri kills the enemy in the bottom lane while this is going on, but a boat comes out, misses everybody. Magnus getting low. There's a Mystic Snake coming out. That's going to get that kill. On the side, we have Kunkka chasing down a Silencer, trying to get this kill off. Being chased by the Sand King, though. I don't know if he's going to get this one. Oh, nice ice path coming out.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. Like, they have control and some spells.
Yeah, and Axe blinks in, misses the Puck. Yeah. Scrappy.
Probably chasing this down. Nice catch.
So far, very favorable for Dire. Oh no, that Corbin's grab lands. Oh boy. The Kira as well getting down. The Dream Coil keeping the Sand King away for now. But this Medusa is just kind of running at heroes, casting snakes on him. Yeah, Sand King blinking forward, securing that kill. Double kill on the Sand King.
Definitely making great value in this blink. I'm a huge fan of the pickup, even if I'm not sure if it's regardless. But yeah, this is kind of just like a manifestation of what I'm talking about. Radiant has like plenty of CC, and they got individual like damaging stuff, but just a couple people get out with just enough, and that really cascades into people dying and getting out and living.
We have a blink forward by the Sand King onto the Kunkka under tower. Sounds good to cast some spells, but Kunkka's be able to walk away from this.
One last part of it. The thing that's also so tough is they have to land every spell. We see what happens if they miss like even a single one. Earlier it was the Sand King, you usually orb on the coil, and then Kunkka cleans up. And then in that fight that happened a little bit ago was the ghost ship missing on the silencer and the Sand King. They have to hit every spell.
They find a low Kunkka, pick him off pretty quickly. A couple spells being dropped here, notably the Stone Gaze, but right now the fight is a little bit broken up.
I will also note, since we haven't spoken about it yet, AM is going the traditional build of Battlefield. Perhaps that's informed by Dusa being a pause 5, and if she were not, we would be seeing something else, I'm not sure.
They might find a Bloodseeker top. Rupture used on the Magnus, but he's going to RP this Bloodseeker in place. Puck comes in with the Dream Coil, locking this Bloodseeker.
That's a great pick. Bloodseeker was way too far.
Yeah, trying to secure that tower. Oh, just able to rotate.
It's also it's an important kill for Radiant to get, and an important kill for Dire to not let them have.
Ooh, Anti-Mage. Oh no, Anti-Mage.
Bloodseeker is one of the 2 people that is quite easy, actually, for Radiant to kill.
Yeah.
Now Silencer's getting punished.
Yep, Silencer trying to overcommit, kill the Anti-Mage, gets caught out of position. Whole team behind him though. Jakira doesn't recognize it, drops the combo on the Silencer. Global comes out, delaying Radiant's response for now. Silencer getting pretty low. Last right click from the Jakira will secure it. Radiant playing under their tier 2 tower, trying to get that armor buff as much as possible. We have a blink in by the axe, finding 2, chop on the axe, Puck getting really low. Second chop interrupted. Not gonna save him though, as the axe chop does finally come out. 3 for 2. Radiant did a good job there of trying to pull those heroes back under their tower. Silencer just getting a little bit out of position, chasing that very low Anti-Mage. But a good fight going the way of Radiant. Seemed like this game was starting to run away a little bit from Radiant.
I don't think it was.
They were losing a lot of fights in it.
I don't think it was a net positive for them.
I'm just looking at it right now.
AM was like in the area kind of fighting a bit using Mana Void, whereas Bloodseeker was farming the whole time. The map already favors Dire. Radiant can't get any objectives off of the engagement because it happens so deep on this side of the map. And I don't think Global Silence being committed gives them a big window to do much of anything. Like anything super substantial. They can like look for a gank or 2, but
the kills do mean more when you're this far now. Oh no, Axe is gonna find the Anti-Mage, Blade Mill. Easy chop.
He almost lost the dunk again to the Mana Burn.
That would have been very unfortunate. We have a rotation top by the Puck and Kunkka. Smoke broken on the Kunkka. Gotta find this Bloodseeker. Kunkka getting really low, but all these spells combined could be enough to bring him down.
Yeah, got punished.
Yep, so they're going after the hero you recognize as being the one of the easier targets. Axe rotates over.
He's also not making it very difficult for them.
Yeah,
he's farming in the most dangerous place twice in a row. And this time there was no tower either.
1200 gold swing on the way, going the way of Radiant. Anti-Mage desperately trying to find some farm in this game.
Yep.
He's been getting punished.
Here's the other thing, like, AM is gonna struggle to do the traditional split push thing where your team makes space and you split push and farm up 2 items and like,
yeah, especially with this axe
8 minutes or whatever. Because you're dealing with an axe, you're dealing with the Sand King, you're dealing with a Global Silence, and then you also have the Rupture, which might matter. So it's like, it's definitely possible, but it remains an uphill battle even with what they have.
Ooh, his Anti-Mage might be Rupture down here, gets the Rupture.
No TP available.
Yeah. Blink out, that's gonna do a lot of damage, gives him the Thirst Vision. Easy blinking by the axe. I
know there's the trick of
you
blink and then you walk a tiny bit.
Yeah, you can also get Aether Lens to
Does
get
that
into it.
require 1300 range or is that 1200?
I'll look at the numbers in a second here. We have a global as they go on the Jakiro in the Radiant Triangle. Looks like there's kind of a go top, but these two supports now getting caught out of position. Puck and Magnus chasing after them. X getting committed on the Silencer. Kind of split up targets here. They finally focus this Silencer, but the Sand King comes in with a huge epi. Gets locked down by the Magnus for the time being, but tons of damage coming up from both sides. Magnus trying to bring down the Sand King. That would be an absolutely massive kill. Meteor Hammer coming out. Ooh, double stun on the Magnus. Finally able to bring the Sand King down, leaving him to do so alone. But Bloodseek coming in finally.
Straight into the ice path. Great job, TZ.
Animage TP's in, trying to provide support for his dying supports. Another nice ice pop. Oh, the Mjolnir proc. I'm not sure where that came from, but I think a right click from somewhere.
I got vision of him.
Yeah, but we have a Blinken on this Animage again. Not having a good game. This Axe is 12-0. Complete runaway for this Axe right now.
If Axe was a real gamer, he would have bought Soul Ring for this issue precisely, and then he would have gotten every single dunk off.
He has that Gauntlet of Strength. It's still a possibility. Deciding instead to go to the BKB. I believe BKB prevents mana burn, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to use it like that. Well, here's what I was gonna say. I think it's a huge mistake not to have a Bloodstone already on Sand King. Imagine having a Bloodstone against him.
We have Granola making a questionable play down here. Gets skewered by the Magnus, drops the Rupture onto the Magnus, now being supported by his team. Dead Magnus. Kind of weird. Axe going in on the Jakiro. Easy chop. These Radiant heroes really can't do anything up against this kind of aggression.
Yeah, it's tough. Even if you deal with one of these guys, it's going to require enough investment that you can't deal with everyone else. It's so difficult. The only way they can really like start to salvage this is AM needs to start putting map pressure, and also Puck with you know, all of their spells. Maybe the Magnus too a little bit. They need to start cutting and splitting.
The problem is
giving Dire reasons to split up.
Yeah.
Placing deep vision so you can see when people are alone and killing people when they are alone. But the first step in that process is split pushing, and right now nobody's threatening.
Sand King Epi onto the Puck, followed up by the global, is going to be a very dead Puck. Yeah, Glimmer keeps him alive for a little bit while, but not enough to save him. Should be a free tier 2. I don't imagine Radiant fight this. I was gonna say though, like this Axe did go Boots of Travel specifically to hunt this Animage, so split pushing is gonna be nigh impossible for the Animage until they get a Manta.
It's still what you have to do,
Yeah.
and one option you have as well is you smoke behind someone who split pushes, and you counter initiate because you know like someone like Axe is going to be looking for them.
Hmm.
But this current plan of like responding to them is not going to work.
It's like Dire rotating top to grab this Tormentor. It's going to delay their pressure, or reduce the pressure slightly on this Radiant team. They'll be able to get out of base and start getting D wards out while this is happening.
See a smoke on the Kunkka. 5 obs on Jakiro. That's definitely something they're itching to rectify. Even if you don't find any kills, it's good to smoke just to get out on the map, place that vision.
Yeah. Both teams kind of splitting up and farming for the time being. Dire not across the river. They do lack vision for the time being. That could be why they're playing a little bit safer.
On the side of Dire, you mean?
Yeah, on the side of Dire. They currently, I don't think they have.
I think it's just a natural occurrence after all grouping up for an objective like Torn. It's going to make your lanes a little bit worse temporarily.
Looks like
They
Radiant's
probably were relying on the creep vision.
Radiant committing a lot of spells on the Silencer. Mass TPs though out to try and get this guy. Ooh, Magus gonna blink in, brings him down. Can Dire punish this? Sand King's coming in from the flank though. He's gonna run right into this Magnus Puck. Goes on the Puck. Axe killing the Jakiro on the off the screen for the time being. But nice Gorgon's Grasp by the Inducive. Finds 2, followed up by the Axe. Lots of dead heroes on this Axe. It's they get the Silencer, but unable to safely run away. This does give space for the Animage. Much needed space.
I didn't see how it started, but that's one of the tricky things. In a couple of different ways. I didn't literally see it happen until the very end, but it might have been an issue of like not having all the damage right away that you needed. Maybe a spell was missed. Maybe he was already like too far in his own. But it's also a manifestation of like, because they were losing earlier, because no one ever split pushed, tier 1 middle is still up, just like the tier 1 top and bottom, which meant Dire was easily able to rotate, be right on them to counter that whole engagement, come out swinging. Like, if pressure had been better throughout this game and that tower was gone, they wouldn't be at high ground right now. And Fortify wouldn't have had to be used by Radiance. This is gonna set them up for Roshan. Like, these things have huge reverberations.
This Medusa's getting a little far
very
forward.
confident,
Drops the Stone Gaze. Axe is here to follow up. Finds 2 heroes, but they're both stunned, so the counter nuke's not doing that much damage. Puck, silence. Can't she get away? No. Sand King comes in, finishes that kill. RP though onto Sand King, drops the macro as well, but tons of heroes dying on the side of Radiant. Dire getting pretty low here, fighting under this tier 3 tower. Magnus getting low. Axe will pop him. No buybacks on the side of Radiant. Actually, just 1 on the Jakiro. 3 heroes dead. And this might be the first set of racks here shortly. Yeah, they just were unable to create any kind of space for this anti-mage, I feel. They did rotate and try to do some micro-fights in the sides.
The anti-mage had a huge impact on their paralysis and their feeling of like not being able to make plays. You know they're like feeling the lack of versatility as a result. Yeah. I also think AM went the wrong build. If this was Vanguard Radiance and you could actually play with your team, that's a huge deal. But if you are going this build, also just like too much time was spent in the jungle when things were going down, and so lanes were not pressured, and so Dire didn't have to back. All these sorts of things.
Magnus is gonna get caught here. Blinks forward to kill a range creep, but Medusa's gonna root him up. Silencer Sand King will follow up with a bunch of spells. Magnus skewers the Sand King under tower before he dies.
He really deserves to die here.
Yeah, Evo getting hit by the tier 2 tower will go down. That is a whole bunch of gold going to the side of Radiant.
Stacked his stun on the Meteor Hammer, so Magnus gets to live and skewer him under tower. It's a well-deserved death by Sand King.
Axe is coming though. They're trying to bring down this Medusa.
This is the first time we're seeing the AM versus Medusa matchup.
Massive Mana Void just pops that silencer from full to 0. Axe not really getting anything with his first call. We'll TP, we'll Nightfall actually. Leaving Medusa for dead. And this anime just
those are some good picks, but here we're seeing TZ do AM's job.
Yeah, pushing the side. Gonna do a little bit of damage to that tower.
That's some good split pushing. It's also a little crazy that it took 27 minutes for AM to right-click the Medusa.
On the hunt for Radiant forces. Radiant's top
Yeah, but regardless of the past, Anti-Mage is extremely happy with that. Getting 900 gold from that fight. A lot of gold going the way of Radiant there.
Axe is looking at this.
Ooh, Anti-Mage. Stays a little bit too long. Blade Mail brings him down.
That time he could have dunked, but he's just dog shit. Unlucky.
33 Coat of Blood on this axe, permanent 16.5 armor. He's a pretty beefy boy, very difficult to kill. I feel like if Radiant delayed this game out long enough, though,
I don't think
they'll be able to win fights. It's going to be very difficult, but if they're able to do that, I think once they get items with like the madness.
I don't think it gets easier for them.
I feel like Empowered plays a big role in these fights. Like you have a bunch of area CC. If your enemy is just allowed to right-click things over and over.
I think Empower plays 0% role currently in fights. I don't think it's a factor whatsoever. Like, you're empowering Anti-Mage, right? It doesn't matter a ton on anyone else other than the Magnus.
Who's
and Anti-Mage is not able to comfortably hit people in fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You see a Bloodseeker. They're running at him with all 5 heroes. The 5th hero's being in. Puck will start the fight with the Blink Yules. There's a Sand King, though, in the area. Puck is going to try and escape. Actually, doesn't orb onto the Axe. He's going to get exploded by the Sand King Bloodseeker. Axe, meanwhile, trying to find this Magnus, who is able to escape. So, They had a ward on that
Sounds
Bloodseeker.
is committed.
They had a ward on that Bloodseeker. Wanted to make a play, but
Yeah.
it was just ran away.
Yeah.
Unfortunate timing.
It was a good thing to start with.
Its bottom tower is no more.
Yeah, I like. I think Radiant's way back into this game came and passed like 10, 15 minutes ago. Now it's just like your only way back into this game is for Dire to misplay, and anything you can do is to make Dire more likely to misplay. Like that.
Well, maybe it's a blink skewer.
Like, they still need more damage, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Great Yules, Legend Hero. Really nice precast.
Once BKB goes down, though, on this Bloodseeker, he's going to be pretty vulnerable. Axe coming in. It's going to be taking up a lot of his damage for his Bloodseeker. They'll be able to just pop
Yeah,
this
this is
Shakira.
game.
3-man Dream Coil. Follows up. Pulls him out of the Dream Coil with the Tidal Wave. Magnus trying to do some damage, but well, the damage is lacking.
So
There's no
AM's TP was on cooldown. AM couldn't be there, which I wasn't sure of. But like, yeah, if you're gonna RP someone into the base, like the RP and skewer and all that was great, but just like
Fight's not
didn't
over
have the
yet.
damage for
As
it.
Radiant try and find.
Yeah, you
this-
say that. You say that. You say that. It's over. It's been over.
Well, I said the fight's not over yet, but yeah, I agree with you. The game is a little out of reach at this point.
I think they could have made this draft work, but it still would have required a higher level of execution. And it requires probably a different build on the AM. But like, if this Kunkka were a Snapfire or something like that, just like they needed more damage and a straightforward package that just like makes plays a lot more feasible. But they just didn't get enough done, and people got tanky.
They probably needed to pressure this Axe a little bit more than what they did. He just had free farm the entire game. They still haven't
Potentially,
killed him.
but the real issue is like all three cores on Dire got what they wanted. Nobody struggled. Now they're great precast duels by the Shakira.
Same
Doesn't
thing
matter,
again,
but I
nice
see you.
double.
I see you, King.
Sand King's getting this Bro strike onto 2 heroes, followed up by the global. That'll pick off the Jakira. X marks the spot coming out. But I feel like Radiant don't have really any way to fight this team at this point.
Nope. We have 14,000 net worth on Anti-Mage.
3-man star. Dodges the RP. Sand King dies to Fountain. Axe getting the puck low, able to use up for the time being. Bloodseeker's pretty low here. Dreamcoil pops out, stuns them. He has the Sanjin Yasha though, so that's going to be reducing that stun for duration. Puck kind of gets exploded, but Mag able to find this Bloodseeker. No RP though, he whipped it in the Fountain. So not able to secure that kill. Silencer getting low, he's going to bag the Macro Pyre as Axe is getting pretty low here. Animage's trying to bring him down, he's trying to kite out this blade now. Animage instead going on the Medusa, explodes him. Wait a minute. 4 heroes dead on the side of Dire. Axe all alone dies to the puck. That is a 2,500 gold right there. Wait a minute.
Okay,
Wait a
okay.
minute.
Caster Curse. Still up against Mega Creeps though.
Just a casual 9,600 gold swing.
Mega Creeps aren't what they used to be. They used to mean something. But they are still Mega Creeps.
Yeah, it just means more farm.
I didn't finish what I was saying about the Anti-Mage comment. When I was saying it, he had 14,000 net worth just like a minute ago. That team fight swing definitely something. I still don't think it's enough. Dire's gonna lock in now that happens. But what I was getting to is, it wasn't to say like AM's underfarmed, which he is, but like that's not my point. My point is like, it's still 16,000 more when I said at 14,000 net worth that they are struggling to like make use of. Like everyone on Dire, you feel their net worth every time. But it's been difficult for AM to like...
Dropping spells on the Sandy Mage. Buck's just caught out with a little bit of HP.
Oh, the blink!
The blink
the
forward
Magnus!
finds the
Unlucky.
Magnus. Sand
Dire
King
also controls the outpost. Actually, they don't, sorry. So they do have to go. But they still have their tier 1, so it's like not even that far of a walk.
Yeah, Sand King getting those well-deserved tips as he, with the assistance of the Global, brought down 3 heroes by himself. And the rest of Dire coming in to finish off the job. As there are no.
I still think he should have. I still think he definitely made a mistake by not getting Bloodstone this game. Not punished for it, but
There will mop up these last remaining supports as they right-click this Ancient. Down to 0. No GG coming out thus far. It's going to go down to the very end. And that'll be it for game 1.
They are 5 minutes ahead of us.
That is unfortunate.
Let's hope that we can do this the old-fashioned way for game 2.
Yeah, so we're going to take a little temporary break here and try and get back into the game as casters. We'll be right back with you shortly.
Seconds.
All right, welcome back to Phase Dota Circuit Season 8 2025. OverTake Gaming versus ArtPause Wins Legend Best of 2. This is game 2 after ArtPause Wins Legend as well.
Bad news, champ. They hear you again.
Mother.
10 seconds.
Never mind.
5 seconds.
All right, we're going to have to go watch this live. Back in 1-1.
to ban.
Hello everybody, welcome to FaZe Dota Circuit Season 8 2025. Overtake Gaming versus RPaws when it's Legend. Thanks to all of you comments to let me know to update the stream. A little bit rushed in prep for this one, unfortunately, but that should all be resolved now.
5 seconds.
Starting off in Game 2, we have Axe Band coming out, followed by the Medusa. Overtake Gaming immediately banning these two heroes, just not wanting to have to deal with it, not wanting to have to pick that Anti-Mage again to counter the Medusa, and having it be countered so hard. So they will get those two heroes out of the pool. RPaws when it's Legend going with the same bans they did in the first game, with the Beastmaster Tinker to start off with. So we are going to see a different draft this game.
Real quick, how many heroes do you see picked?
I see 5, 6 now.
Okay.
17,
so I did a peculiar thing where I could not watch the game, and I could not watch it through the ticket, but when I chose the Dota Plus watch live option, then it worked with the delay.
5 seconds.
Interesting.
So we're here.
We are here.
We're here. Rubik Opener is very strange. I don't think this hero is worthy of first pick.
I think you're ahead of me.
Radiant's turn to pick.
I didn't see the Rubik until just now.
So when I said 5 heroes, you said 5 heroes banned? Because I now see 6 heroes picked.
Oh, yeah, you're ahead of me. By like
so I got through the lobby delay, and I'm seeing it live. Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
All right. You try it. You try it. Try and watch one of them live.
I don't have Dota Plus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm poor. Let me try.
Well,
just
okay,
back out and watch with the delay, nerd.
This is the only way I could get in, dude. I couldn't watch it normally. I couldn't watch with the ticket. This is insane. This is the worst fucking cast of all time.
This is the best fucking cast of all time.
This is the worst cast. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna share my stream.
You're gonna share? No, I'm showing the camera.
Too bad. We're doing this for the draft.
Yeah, well,
I don't like. It's fucked. Okay, it's fucked.
The people haven't seen what led up to what you're saying.
I didn't see what led up to it either.
I mean,
we gotta fucking make lemonade, okay?
I'll stream on Discord for you.
Why would you stream for me? Oh, because it's working for you, I guess.
Yeah, because that's what the people see. We watch.
Okay,
what you're
okay. So you have not clicked on mine yet.
Yeah. Here.
Okay, so we're chill. You're gonna stream for me.
Yeah. All right.
Motherfucker.
Your stream.
Holy. Dude, I got so much intel. I'm gonna make so many astute predictions.
10 seconds remain.
I'm so excited.
Probably gonna be a little awkward for you to see what's happening in the game through the stream.
I'll see if I can enter it normally at some point.
Yeah.
Well, Rubik Opener, now it's official. Yeah. I think that's bad. I think that's bad.
Yeah, it just lets the enemy team pick heroes that don't really care about spells being stolen, a la Muerta, a la Life Stealer.
It's not like it cuts off so many things that Rubik is good against that it just like shuts off the enemy's drafting potential. And it's like you can still get a big spell or two against a Rubik if you have ways to like kill him. It doesn't matter.
I guess
you like the Life Stealer response?
It's not a particularly strong hero by itself, and it's really hard to pick it blind until you don't even know what it is because the power of the hero is so dependent on what it's facing.
The other thing is, in this meta, there are so many insanely good supports. And even if you're not picking a support, there's so many insanely good first picks. There's a Prophet, which goes in banned. Jakiro goes in banned. Silencer is banned. AA is banned. But they had the Jakiro available. I think this is a waste of a first pick. I also think Murata first pick is bad. I think that's bad too, but
that's your professional opinion.
That's my personal opinion. This Nyx is also not good.
Nyx is a Life Stealer. Interesting.
This is very, very bad.
This is some interesting drafting going on. All right, so just focusing on like the drafts. In the first phase, we had Axe, Medusa being banned. Those were the changes coming out from Overtake Gaming. So they didn't want to see those. Yeah, they didn't want to face those again. They didn't want to see a Medusa again, then having to pick the Anti-Mage again to try and counter, and then having it get counterpicked further on the draft.
The Beastmaster Tinker is a repeat for Pause One is Legend.
Silencer comes out as well in the first. No, that was second banning phase, right? No, first. Yeah, first. So they also don't want to see the Silencer again, just because they don't want to be shut down like their initiations at all. So we're probably going to see like a completely new draft.
Silencer and AI are both supports that are worth picking first phase.
Yeah, I agree. Both meta, both strong.
Unlike this Rubik and this Mirta. Darkseer, what a crazy pick. I could not have predicted this. I don't know about you. I could not have predicted this.
Stop being meta for 5 seconds.
What do you think we're going to see from OverTake Gaming? What role do you think they want to secure here? Maybe they're 3, perhaps?
10 seconds.
Maybe mid? Maybe it's like a flex pick of some sort. And we'll figure it out later.
Pick's a support.
If I had to guess, it's probably a 3 that they're looking for.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
How do you feel about mythology?
So talking about the draft as the people see it, you see a Rubik, Darkseer, and Nyx. So you see 2 teamfight heroes. You see a Nyx with the potential to gank. You don't want to pick any kind of like squishy heroes that can just get immediately exploded by the Nyx. Stuff like Crystal Maiden or Skywrath. Darkseer kind of shies you away from illusion-based heroes.
I would like something that offers CC, threatens to kill squishy people, also gives you some AoE damage to deal with Darkseer summons. And holy shit, Mars, it's exactly what I was talking about.
I'm going to mute you if you keep fucking acting like this.
I can't do it much longer. we're almost at equal footing.
10 seconds.
I mean, you could just say what they pick, and then we could go mute for the rest of the draft. You know, you think that?
I saw the next hero, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Witch Doctor. We'll see. Yeah, I am liking the heroes I'm seeing on Overtake more than Pause One is Legend by quite a bit.
Not a lot of heroes for the Nyx to burst so far. Not a lot of heroes for the Nyax to make illusions of, unless it's like a Radiance Lifestealer.
One of the things I criticized about Overtake, sorry, I interrupted you a little bit, apologies. One of the things I criticized about their draft was like their damage was awkward and not quite sufficient. And it seems like Pause One is Legend has really taken that to heart, and now it's their turn to not have enough damage.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing a Darkseer, Nyx Assassin, Rubik.
They do have the awesome combo, though, of Invis Hero plus Ion Shell. Maybe it'll surprise them. You just run around, kill them with the Ion Shell, you know? They just don't realize that they're dying.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
5 seconds remain.
Shadow Demon comes out, offers quite a bit of damage in fights. You have to break. It just feels weird because like you see these heroes, which are usually picked in responses to things like Rubik, Darkseer, Shadow Demon, but they're not in the game. Like they're being picked before those heroes are picked. Like there's no heroes for Darkseer to make illusions of. The only big spell right now is like Mars Arena for the Rubik to take. And Shadow Demon's break, like nobody cares about getting broken on the side of our Pause One is Legend. I guess that it's the disruption to try and.
There's nothing currently that we see that makes Shadow Demon look like awesome, but Shadow Demon is just like generically pretty decent. It's such a powerful save. His ultimate can be super impactful, and it's going to be a nice way to kill this Darkseer later on. Because yes, he can't be slowed while he's surged, but the Shadow Demon ult is constantly purging. Again, that's not the reason to pick it, but it's like it's just generically good. It's another save. It can make stacks. It can take stacks. It's a way to harass Darkseer without being next to him. It does plenty. I have no issues with the Shadow Demon pick.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a generic pick in the pro scene as well. People like to pick it just because it offers so much. It offers healing, save, dispels.
It's also a nice setup for Mirta spells on both accounts. It sets up Deadshot. It sets up her Dance of the Dead. I think that's a decent duo, and they, as a support duo, are definitely much better equipped to make plays together, kill people with the cores already in the lanes during the laning phase, and they have more damage between the two of them.
10 seconds remain.
I'm definitely liking Overtake's draft more than Pause One so far.
5 seconds remain.
Storm may also struggle to get off the ground.
What is this like Storm in response to? Like try and pick off
I think
these
it's
supports?
I think it's in response to like they can't catch me that easily, or it's supposed to punish the lifestealer and like kite him. The way I see it panning out is that
10
you
seconds.
don't kill anybody because Mars is too tanky,
5 seconds.
lifestealer is too
remaining.
tanky,
Lifestealer infest, Shadow Demon heals.
Hero's turn to
Shadow
and
Demon
if you
purges.
do, the supports have saves and what's the word I'm looking for? Disengages and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So you got to go on the supports, and you kind of have to get Orchid if you want to actually kill them, probably. But then, so that you can stop their saves, because Mirta can just ult. Shadow Demon can Q them. So, like, it's awkward. I don't think it's a good pick. Ember Spirit was still in the pool. Ember would have been way better, right? I mean, actually, is that true?
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. But I think Storm's a bad pick.
They banned out the Spectre.
I think Dire's draft kind of just sucks dick. I'm gonna be real.
They banned out the Spectre, who was an Orchid carry. That would have hurt these supports a little bit. I'm not sure what carry you pick here to try and round to this team. I feel like you need like a frontliner disabler.
Okay.
Bloodseeker sort of fulfills that, although he's not going to be able to do that early on.
So here's the Darkseer synergy. We have Vacuum into Storm Ags, and Vacuum a Rupture target for a little bit of damage.
Mm-hmm. Telekinesis Rupture target.
And Vacuum Bloodright kind of sort of, but not really.
5 seconds.
Yeah, Vacuum into the Impale, obviously.
This draft sucks.
This is a very difficult to execute draft on Dire, I feel.
That's the difference between you and me. You're a professional.
Mm-hmm. Radiant, meanwhile, pick up the Ember Spirit.
That is a pretty solid Ember pick. The only thing that's kind of tough about it is the Spiked Carapace, but I think that's a worthy trade. It's great against the Storm. It's great against the Bloodseeker because you can move around a whole lot without actually moving. I think Radiant completely outdrafted there here, and I look forward to. I am rooting for them to win. To be clear, to be absolutely upfront, I'm rooting for them to win.
Not that casters should be biased or anything, but you know.
I can be biased because I know these guys.
Fair.
And their draft sucks.
I expect the Darkseer is actually, how does Darkseer Lifestealer matchup work? I feel like it's good for the Darkseer.
I'm pretty sure it's good for the Darkseer.
I expect them to win that lane. Storm, it's going to be Storm. I'll use the 2 again. 2 is talk about greater, so Ember. So Storm Ember could go either way. And
it's Ember favored, but Storm could win it.
Yeah, so I think laning phase, it might be like a little even, but after the laning phase, Overtake Gaming just has a much easier time starting and winning team fights. There was Nyx in the game, though, that you can set that up with the Storm. I think Nyx plus Storm is going to be able to get a lot of pickoffs. They should try and utilize that coming out of the laning phase to kill his Lifestealer and Ember Spirit. Just try and like makes the space for Bloodseeker to become a hard carry and hope that
I'm currently not convinced that Nyx will achieve much of anything. Certainly not enough to justify the pick. And showing your support duo that early on these picks is just so strange. You can get away with one of them, but both, and so early? It's just weird.
Prepare for battle.
Instant smoke from Radiant. There's gonna let it simmer a little bit. Let me try and join the game myself again. See if that has any success.
So we introduced
looks like I'm getting through.
We introduced the players last time, and this is just a best of 2 early in the season, so I'm not going to do that again. Very similar movements coming out from both teams in this game compared to last time.
Again, nothing's gonna fucking happen. They both go to different sides.
Radiant's going across the river.
They're going to the enemy sides again. Oh my gosh.
Where's the Storm going?
The Storm might get fucked. That'd be sick. Dude, I love this move. They're doing the Tour de France. I love this move.
Oh, not
the real move is you go all the way across. You need a Tango or a Quelling to make it work.
Their smoke ran out is the thing.
Nothing ever happens. Woo! And Dire sees this because of the ops placed for mid. Level 1s on each team, kinda pretty comparable.
This reward transcends expectation.
I agree. Might have a fight here on the bottom mid room. Ooh, Lifestealer thinking about it. Picks it up. They're gonna split targets here. Nick's going on one, Darkseer going on the other. These heroes are able to run away though for the time being, although Dire's giving chase. Darkseer getting pretty low in the middle of a bunch of heroes. One more right click. God.
I am amazed they did not first blood the Lifestealer immediately.
They pick up the Darkseer on the Ember Spirit. That's going to be a nice pickup for that that mid laner, and he's going to die, so he's going to have full resources going back into lane. Oh god, I think I swallowed something.
Good.
A little bit of water. Alright.
Rough.
Anyway, he'll go back into lane. He's probably happy with that, I'd say, the Ember Spirit. Getting the first blood and dying.
Oh, for sure. Let's see, actually. No. Storm is level 2. That's a little bit rough. Storm's got
this early on. Yeah.
Bottle on the way. Yeah, so Ember is not making out like a bandit at all. This is actually really rough. If Storm is ahead, this matchup is really tough.
Bottom lane, I feel like Radiant have a hard time locking down heroes, so I don't expect there to be too many kills against this Nyx and Darkseer.
A kill only happens if Shadow Demon is out of position and gets punished. I don't think there's any other manifestation.
I mean, Lifesteal could get low from the Ion Shells. Top. I mean,
Top is where I would expect the most kills to be during the laning phase.
Yeah, you have the repositions with the Deadshot and the Impale, able to like drag heroes out of position into danger zones. Ooh, nice little telekinesis into the Blood Right. Gonna get this more to low. Bloodseeker's trying to chase. One right click from the Rubik will be enough to bring him down.
Yep.
Kill going the way of Drabs on that Rubik.
It's good that they get that pick. They're gonna need as much room as possible to compensate for this next pickup.
So far the mid isn't awful. 12 to 10 CS, 2 to 1 denies. Core is pretty even so far at the start. Really just that action top kind of indicating how the lanes are going.
It definitely looks a lot better than it did just a second ago.
Bottom, we're gonna have a go on the Nyx Assassin. Getting chunked down by this Lifestealer. Nice vacuum though. Kind of disrupts the combo. He is at 3 stacks though. One more right clicking in. Oh, just barely not enough. Shadow Demon not have mana for another stack of Shadow Poison. Otherwise,
I will give Dimitri props for holding the skill point and getting the vacuum. That's pretty sick. Counterpoint though, what if he had stealed Surge like normal and surged his Nyx and he lived? It was fine either way.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess it's better damage. It's better damage
one does more damage. In the top lane, meanwhile, we had a Bloodseeker and Rubik chasing down a Morita behind tower into the secret shop, able to pick her up. And mid had a bit of action between the two spirits. Storm getting a little low from the Ember Spirit. But things have stabilized for the time being.
It's on Ember. It's a little interesting.
Yeah, this telekinesis blood right combo is pretty nasty. It basically just guarantees that you're going to be getting that blood right off. This is a lot of mana spent total.
We're trying to stack. Good luck with that.
That does guarantee.
Just a pull, actually.
But it does guarantee that harass.
For Radiant's middle tower.
Nyx and Shadow Demon duking it out down here. Shadow Demon using a ton of mana trying to bring this Nyx low. Only able to get 3 stacks up again before he runs out of mana, although Lifestealer is going to come over to the open room and slow him. Rubik meanwhile dies top. Watching this, one more right click from the Lifestealer. Oh, the
Lifestealer! Alright, that's
just
good.
Enough.
I was so ready to flame him for not having Surge. That worked out.
Vacuum just providing just enough damage to keep that last right click from killing the Nyx Assassin. Top lane though, the Rubik did go down to the Muerta. As both side lanes seems to be pretty high kill lanes. Nyx is taking the gate. He's not going to have a ton of mana coming through. I guess he does have both spells though, plus a mango. This could be some kind of gank opportunity on the Mars and the Muerta.
This is the best thing for the Nyx to be doing.
Yeah, unfortunately the creep wave's a little bit far forward.
Yeah, the equilibrium is just so fucked.
Yeah, he reveals. Gonna have to back from that.
This is the same play they made last game, which suggests that it's premeditated, which suggests that they could have pulled in preparation for this, so definitely some executional errors on that front. If I were Nyx, I wouldn't have even left. I would have just tried again. Just wait a little bit longer.
Oh, we have a go top. They're gonna cast the Blood Red up to Mars and Muerta. Rubik getting low though from just the right clicks. He's able to escape under tower. Muerta meanwhile being chased down.
Middle.
Things happening middle. We'll keep watching top. Yeah, it doesn't look like Storm's in any real danger.
Storm goes for the dive because he hit 6 first. Doesn't quite get there though.
Yeah, burns all his mana doing so. 6-minute rune coming up. It will be top. Ember
I
will be
think
able
we
to
have a
secure
moment
that.
to talk about it. I was and am curious to see how these mids choose to roam or not roam with their. Still going?
So we have a go mid. Ember with the shield run, feeling pretty confident. Kind of running out of mana though. Storm able to escape with just under 100 HP. Rubik TP is trying to scare this Ember away. Doesn't seem like it's going to end up being much. In regards to your...
I was gonna say, I was interested to see if they would choose to like just keep duking it out middle and just like farming it up, or if one of them would proactively look to rotate with their 6. And if it came to that, I think like whichever mid chose to counter TP is like cleaning up with the mana spent. But instead they just waste all their mana on each other.
Yeah, I think it's pretty dependent on how the lane is going for either one. If one of them feels like they're free farming, I don't think they feel any reason to go to a different lane unless it's like a one-team fight and they'll just get a kill from it. Or if it's like a dive or something.
It's kind of like it's like mutually assured destruction a little bit.
Yeah.
Or a game of chicken.
The
where whoever like does
leaves.
it first kind of loses.
Yeah. Like if you leave, it's a risk, right? But if you just stay
it's a
mid,
risk, and then if you commit to that gank, the other person can rotate and then kill you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not crazy for them to stay. It's kind of double value, or like extra value potentially in Storm jungling, because Radiant might feel the pressure of like Storm is missing care for rotations, but really it's just jungling. They may have the read, you never know. But Nick's running towards middle for 8-minute rune.
Looking to secure it. Storm did not get the rune last time, so this is a pretty important one. Both dire heroes are going to be camping the rune slots. It is bottom. Nyx will pick up the invis. Not sure if the Ember saw that. He is playing a little bit safe for the time being. And Nyx with the stun. Ember's low mana. Yeah, they're not going to go for it. Storm just a little bit too low HP. Meanwhile, on the top, we have another brawl between these 4 heroes. We have rotations by the Nyx coming in, trying to find something else. Rupture on the Shadow Beam, and they followed up with the Impale. Doing a ton of damage. Arena committed, keeping this Nyx and Granola locked in. Shadow Demon dies. Can Radiant find any kills off of this? Outside of the Rubik. Big God's Rebuke coming up, finishing off that Nyx Assassin. So the core is surviving, a bunch of supports dying.
The Rupture. That in turn gets the Shadow Demon kill. And then Morris tries to defend it with the Arena. It feels bad not to get any kills on the Arena, instead still lose someone. So right now Radiant's tools for getting kills are Ember Spirit, and that's sort of it. Whereas Dire has... I think who's more content to just farm it out? I think it's Dire because like their draft sucks more. And Darkseer wants to greed it out if he can get away with it, whereas Mars is a little more interested in like doing stuff. I think that probably favors Dire to just farm it out. Darkseer is starting to play a little more aggro bottom.
Top lane, I think Bloodseeker wants to farm more than the Mars. Mid lane, I think Ember wants to farm more than the Storm Spirit since he's more right-click based versus magic based. And bottom, I think the Lifestealer, honestly. So, in my opinion, 2 heroes on Radiant would rather farm versus the one on Dire. Just going off the matchups.
As a net estimation, I think Dire wants to farm more than Radiant.
Rupture committed on the Muerta. saved for the time being by the disruption from the Shadow Demon. Mars, meanwhile, focusing down this Nyx Assassin. He will go down first, followed swiftly by the Muerta. Radiant will now try and bring this Rubik down, chasing it again under tower, but not enough damage. Bloodseeker all the while just right-clicking the Shadow Demon. TP rotation in by the Darkseer, finds 2 with the wall, able to split up this Darkseer and Mars and finish off that, sorry, the Shadow Demon and Mars. Finish off that Shadow Demon. Mars forced to run away.
It's really awkward for Ember and Storm both to just be middle.
Yeah, they're too afraid to leave.
Awkward.
Ember picks up that passive cloak, trying to help him survive the early game damage coming up from this Storm and Nyx.
I think there's more pressure on Ember to leave than Storm.
Really?
Yeah. They need to be killing cores. Again, we have 3 cores on Dire who are getting what they want. And all Radiant's cores are below their counterparts, just like in general. But yeah, rotations have to be made on the side of Radiant and they have to be successful, and cores have to get killed. But right now, all of Dire's cores are getting what they want. So a change has to be made. You can't keep up the status quo. You're losing the farm game.
Yeah, 2k net worth already going the advantage of
Rena's
Dire.
up on Mars. That's an opportunity. Nirsa doesn't have 6, but it's not so important on her hero. Shadow Demon is quite close to 6.
Yeah, they're starting to... Ooh, the Elber Smasher actually slowing up the Lifestealer and the Shadow Demon as they were under this tier 1 tower. That's a little unfortunate. Means a dead Shadow Demon. Looks like they're trying to set something up there, but didn't end up being anything. They're gonna cast themselves on a Storm Spirit. I don't think they have the CC to find this guy. They're gonna fear him into the silence though. Muerta dies, can never get one more right click off. I can't believe that Storm died. Nyx meanwhile with the Vendetta. We'll just right click the Ember, bring him down. That was a good job.
I'm surprised that that's the kill they went for, given all the plays they haven't made prior. I'm glad that they went for something, and they definitely had the potential to do it, as we saw, even without someone dying. Yeah, it's good that somebody died for it.
Nyx getting bursted down here by the Shadow Demon Mars. Mars misses the Impale, or Spear of Mars. Drops the arena to secure this kill, but Rubik's incoming. Will he be able to get the Mars off of this? Right now it's just the Rubik. Storm coming up though off of his death timer. Will he jump in?
If Rubik hadn't TP'd, he would have.
Ooh,
he's still
nice
doing it.
spear by the Rubik on
What
the
are you
Shadow Demon.
doing,
Saves
dude?
himself, even coming in. Doesn't commit completely for the Shadow Demon. Survives with a sliver of HP. Storm
Oh,
gonna
you
find
son of a
nice spear in.
bitch!
Ember, meanwhile, finding a low Rubik. Runs completely out of mana,
Got
walks
20
into the
stick charges,
wall.
not using it.
Yep, waiting
Use
on
your
that
stick,
stick.
bro. Use your stick.
Mars dying on the side to this hasted Storm Spirit. Use the stick now, but it might be too
Oh,
little too
no.
late as they both go down.
I hate to see a bitch from Missouri winning, man.
Meanwhile, top referee used on the Muerta. Nowhere to go. Allies either dead or farming the side lanes.
It's falling apart again. Lifestealer has had free farm this whole time, but it hasn't. It still puts them below the net worth of all 3 cores on Dire. And with the way things are going, it's not going to be enough just to have a well-off Lifestealer. If if Dire is able to kill the rest of your team, it's not going to matter a ton.
At least the Lifestealer is a little bit harder to kill than the Animage.
It is looking less grim than last game. Lifestealer is a lot more poised to play with the team. Especially with Infest, that is also something they should keep their mind open to, making gank plays with the Lifestealer via Infest bomb.
Yep.
Ours is close to blink. Yeah, I just really want to see a lot more rotations from
Gotta
Radiant.
go bottom. Nyx running under tower with Invetta, trying to kill this Lifestealer. Quick on the rage though, whipping back the follow-up stun. Shadow Demon TPing in. Kind of a split up fight right now. Shadow Demon going on the Rubik on the side. Looks like Dire kind of vacating the area. They will leave this Rubik for dead. And a lot of rotations come out just to find a Rubik. Actually, Nyx Assassin getting caught in the lane. Able to run away with the Surge though, as big arena comes out, finds the Darkseer all alone, kind of splitting up the team, unable to help him. And now Radiant look for more. Pushing high ground now, trying to find the Nyx Assassin. Storm on the side though, still a split up fight. Nyx so far looks like he's able to get away. Storm still has full resources. They're gonna find the Nyx.
That's huge. Great kills for Radiant, super important for them.
Yeah, Storm finds the Lifestealer in the lane, just jumps in with Orchid, able to burn him down. 0 mana under tower, has a Bloodseeker in the area to keep him alive though. Of course, though, more interested in this Rubik mid than
So
trying to
Rubik
find
and Ember and Mars are middle right now because they like chased the whole time.
Yeah,
in that fight.
Well, they found the Nyx.
From the storm.
I guess.
They got the Nyx, and then like there was the storm, but like that's how they organically ended up middle, and then like the Rubik.
I was wondering why they were both
funny.
there. Very split up fight. It was hard to track the whole thing.
So quick check, 15 minutes. Towers, we have 500 damage on Dire's tier 1. We got 800 damage on Radiant's tier 1 bottom. So we got some tower damage. I think all the towers being up is symptomatic of poor coordination.
Gonna have a go here soon. Sentry does come out. They're gonna see this Nyx Assassin, unable to get the rage off as the Storm Peer comes in with the Orchid though. They're gonna be able to find the Shadow Demon. Survives a little bit longer with the disruption, but no allies are coming to help him. It's not fast enough on that enrage.
They are making good use of this Orchid. It can be a tricky thing potentially against a draft like this to make it work out.
And like I mentioned in draft, just do this Storm follow-up onto whoever the Nyx goes is a very deadly combo, especially if you can Orchid and just, you know, have that damage in.
Oh, that's huge.
Ooh,
huge bait.
Storm manages to grab the DD right as Emperor tries to grab it. Able to pick him.
Bloodseeker is being pinged. They're saying this guy's had way too much space.
Yeah, Rupter comes out on the
wanted
Mars,
to spear back,
drops
but
the
didn't quite have the
arena.
angle. Nice silence, he can't spear. It's a disaster.
It's gonna take a while for his Mars to go down with the shield. He's gonna run away after the Rupture expires. Spears him back for the time being. We have 2 rotations, or 3 rotations now, by Dire to try and find something off this. Shadow Demon will be the first to fall, going down to the Bloodseeker. Storm Spirit with DD, looking for more though. Muerta's spotted under tower, vacuum committed on her. Bringing her low, Spirit gets the Storm Spirit away for the time being. Muerta pops the ult, unable to be killed for now. This Vendetta Nyx trying to find this Mars, misses the Impale, short though. Storm will go on the Muerta as soon as that ult expires though. Storm getting very low. Ember, can he find the kill? Needs one more spell. The chains goes on the illusion. Unable to find him. Mars did manage to get away from that Nyx Assassin, so they managed to escape with that hero, but that is very sad.
Pretty clear that Radiant's players are not on the same page.
Yeah.
With the play top and how it started. And Mars wanted to blink spear, but he missed the angle initially and then waited too long to get silenced. Just really awkward all around. There's not enough team play going on the side of Radiant.
Teamfights seem to be a bit more
Dire is certainly
coordinated.
punishing it.
Yeah, teamfights seem to be a bit more coordinated on Radiant, I'd say. Or like the 3-man rotation top immediately when the Mars get into that arena. There was kind of a slow response by the Shadow Demon and the Muerta to come and help the Mars. Just in comparison. Bit of a wording battle happening in this bottom Radiant triangle. The Shadow Demon gets spotted by the Storm, commits a ton of mana to find this. Is this going to be an overcommitment? Burns all of his mana trying to escape if they're able to find anything else. Rubik does go down. Ember comes in, finds the Storm with the arena. That is a huge kill. Darkseer now goes down. That is a ton of gold going to the way of Radiant.
That's important. Get to protect their stacks and hopefully take it right now.
Yep. Lifestealer was a part of that too, so he was around for that big chunk of XP. Radiant will follow this up with a mid push. There was Nyx in the area to try and defend this. 22 seconds left on the death timers for Storm and Darkseer. Rubik could be TPing mid. Curious to see how this goes. Nyx, it's gonna reveal, popping the Muerta, bringing her really low. Oh, the fear comes out the last second. Keeps her alive for just a tiny bit longer.
Right click her?
Did he do a right clicker?
Did Nyx right click the Muerta? I'm not sure if he got it off or if he...
Yeah, he vendetted her. Yeah, I saw the first damage. Bloodseeker will come in and mop up the fight, find the Shadow Demon in the back, so they're unable to kill the Nyx, and it's just a 2-for-0 trade at the end of it. Ember unable to
Storm's going deep for fucking hell.
Finds the Lifestealer top. Was watching
Crosses
mid.
all the way through the triangle from mid lane to get that. And he gets it. So we're closing in on 20 minutes with no Radiance on Lifestealer. Once Lifestealer has it, it's still not like opening the game wide open either. 8 does a Merita that gives you some more tools to make plays. Storm has no defensive items yet.
No Vendetta coming out on Seal. They're going to try and find this Mars. No rotations thus far. Even if they came in time, I think he was going to die before that. Just dying so quickly to this combination between Nyx and Storm. Meanwhile, mid, Bloodseeker being caught all alone. They dropped the Muerte combo on him. He's going to go down. So they do manage to pick up that unstoppable streak. Dire looking to maybe find something here. Storm comes in. Muerte pops up, heals, survives for a split second, but Nyx will kill her. Storm, no mana now, runs away, has the Demonic Purge on him. Mars will focus him down, brings him down. Huge kill. Nice buyback by the Mars to secure that. Can they find this Rubik now? Running at him, yeah. Nice little combination from the Emma Spirit to root him. And
now we do have a fight where... Oh, it's not over.
Yep. A little bit more of a fight. Nyx will find the Emma Spirit. That is disastrous. Oh no, Shadow Demon causes the nurse to miss his God's Rebuke.
Oh no, he's gonna get out!
He's gonna run away with
He's gonna go for the blink.
The Surge. Oh, the Impale Mars blinking forward aggressively, getting solo.
Good try, good try, good try. I respect it.
I like the gumption. But now they're going to be running after this Mars. I don't think he's able to get away. There is a Rupture if they want to use it. Shadow Demon, yeah, they're going to use it.
This fight started like 2 minutes ago.
Yep, that will be the end of the Mars.
Oh, they call it. Let's go next.
It's over.
It's over.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Accident. Is it over? Well, we'll let the admins decide that for now. We have a Bloodseeker chasing after Lifestealer bottom. He will just enrage TP out. No, she's there.
Little casual DPS check for Bloodseeker.
I like the gamemanship coming up from the side of Dire, saying keep going.
Yeah, there's no fucking way they like.
Yeah.
Emu might be in this game, but seems it's overruled him.
I'd have to look at the rule book for what the rules say, but I imagine that if the team refuses the GG, that you could still keep playing. At least if it's called as an accident.
There's no way you actually try and rule book this.
Yeah. Pause the game. Contact the admins right now. Have a smoke.
Okay, looking at the Ember.
Yeah. I think Storm
next
could
showing
just jump
might make
this
him feel
guy.
safer. In fact. Oh, he's going bottom.
They're gonna rush up this Muerta under the tier 2. This is a good position for Radiant if they bring more heroes in. A lot of spells being committed to bring this Ember down. Surviving a long time with the Mage Slayer. Now the Mars Arena doesn't find anybody. They kill the Bloodseeker though.
What the hell was this Rubik doing the whole time? Same with Nyx.
Storm jumps in, finds the Muerta. Nyx on the side. He ran in with a Vendetta, finds a Shadow Demon. Getting low, pops the one to stay alive for a little bit longer. Still fighting under the tier 2. This is getting that aura buff from it. But a lot of resources, a lot of HP still left on the side of Dire. They're going to go all in on this Mars, bring him down. And now the Storm Spirit now getting pretty low. Lifestealer trying to bring him down.
Nice TP.
Not enough. Nice TP. Very well calculated by the Storm Spirit.
That's a fraud check TP.
Now Lifestealer kind of caught in a weird position under this tier 2. Dire hanging around. Looks like they're just going to let him go, though. Kind of lacking the damage with the Storm Spirit and Bloodseeker dead.
I'm struggling to stay invested in this game. I'm going to be real with you.
No, yeah. I mean, they already GG'd. Doesn't really matter.
That's damn true. But I'm just, like, not seeing changed behavior. I'm not seeing Radiant try and change their strategy. It's mostly just responding to stuff, and sometimes it works out for them. Sometimes Dire goes too far out, but like...
So you like to see a smoke
proactively do very few things, not nearly enough.
I feel like you can make like a smoke play on this Muerta with like Ember Mars trying to find a Storm Spirit top or something.
There's so many things they could be doing and could have done. You got Infest available, but it makes sense to not bring it to everything. You can make plays without him.
Still in the Enrage.
Unless it keeps him safe, of course. Like that. Yurta's pushing pretty far. It's just, the places people are at on the map is also very strange. Yurta's the deepest, which makes sense because he's the support, but like... You could call this space creation, but for what? No one else is like taking things, or like...
Well, ostensibly for the Lifestealer, he was bottom pushing out this wave.
Who was already dead, yes.
Yeah, but like, he died while she was up there.
They're just like not any space that is theoretically created is not in service to anything. It's not making plays, and they have to be. They're just getting out farms completely.
For the ages.
And there's like tons of things they could be doing. They just aren't. They're also not like it's also they're not punishing the item builds they're playing against. Storm just finished Kaya Sanj, but that's the extent of what he's built defensively. Bloodseeker has a BKB now, but previously it was just the Falcon Blade, which was a good pickup, but it hasn't been enough to keep him alive from kills. And so they've just like missed opportunities before people can get defensive items. Darkseer's got a Shivas now.
Infest Bomb on the Mars. Smoke is popped on this Nyx Assassin. They're going to find a Nyx Assassin. No Storm in this fight. Dropping a lot of spells to try and bring this guy down. Gets the wall combo off. Stunned from the neutral creeps. Oh no, Ember manages to find this Nyx Assassin though. The arena catches a lot of heroes. Low HP on the side of Radiant though as the Storm finally makes his appearance, bringing this Mars down. It's a 2 for 3 at the moment, but Storm is actually low mana now. Where is the Ember Spirit? That's who we gotta follow. Ember Spirit coming in, trying to deal damage to the Storm Spirit. Lots of disable from the supports though. Lowering him. Both of these spirits getting so low. Ember getting super low, just running out barely as he manages to pop the Storm Spirit. Darkseer meanwhile in the middle of all these heroes. Just needs to do 1,000 damage and can kill all 3, but he heals above the level up. Manages to get the kill. That will heal him. I think the Ember is going to be able to chase this guy down though.
I think Ember griefed his Myrta big time.
How so?
Just like not helping at all. He had the Flame Guard going. The root also missed, but you know it happens. But just like conceptually, just like if you just right click that Darkseer, I think you had it with your team.
Ends up being a 3 for 5.
It's looked like it started okay for Radiant, but like conceptually they're playing right into a Darkseer who you know is a Blink Dagger. So, nice catch on the Sentry.
Nice catch on
Gotta keep running it under them.
Nyx Assassin.
That feels so bad.
Shout out to get a Mr. President.
Feels so bad.
Or the Ember Spirit. Nothing you can do to stop it.
I'm not sure if the Blink was available, but yeah, did not need to Mr. President. They both could have lived. Fortunately, ends up like that. But yeah, like Nyx was out of position. It was good to go on him, but they grouped so hard for the Darkseer. Might have been Mars' job just to like blink ahead and arena some people, but I understand the hesitation given that he doesn't have the BKB yet. Mars is really struggling for items. Now has the BKB finished. 2 real items with 27 minutes. It's tough.
It's gonna be a big BKB pickup. Grab the burst from these heroes. He's gonna be bottom close to these dire supports. Ooh, they don't see him.
They're setting up for the Tormentor.
They're pinging it out. They actually scanned, I think, yeah.
And Storm is gonna portal through.
Yeah, Radiant scanned that, so Mars was aware that there were heroes there if they didn't see them. Gonna be a smoke play by Radiant. Looks like they may want to contest this, although there's a counter smoke by the Dire.
Stealer is going to infest Mars, I think.
Gonna
Mars will stop moving.
Smash here. Ember smoke breaks, does not immediately go high.
Oh boy.
3-man wall combo. Drop the blood rate, end the wall. Just tons of spells being dropped. Every hero taking so much damage. Storm focusing the Shadow Demon in the back.
That is a tough place for smoke to get broken.
On the low ground, Ember just not doing anything, not reacting for 2 seconds. Just Darkseer jumps on top of that opportunity, brings them all into a wall.
And that was the BKB fight.
On the Mars? Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunate. So they'll win a team fight.
Kill
and get
the Tormentor. That would have been nice. Not this time. Regen Rune bottom.
No one knows.
No one knows.
An ephemeral masterpiece.
There's some draw come out by Ember. $16k gold lead on the side of Dire. All of their cores are well ahead of their Radiant counterparts.
Yep.
Actually, all of their cores are pretty even net worth too. That's you don't usually see that. You usually see one hero being much higher than
Might
others.
if my cat co-casts with me for a little bit.
Oh, I don't mind.
Hey kitty. Hey kitty, what do you think about the teams? She's laying sideways on the ground. She's probably out of range for the kitty comms to come through.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. She had some really insightful things to say, but it's just going to be between us for now.
I'm sure you'll pass along any gold nuggets that she might have.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, I ain't no snitch. I respect her privacy.
Bit of lull in the action in the game here. We didn't have quite the uphill battle to climb. I feel like they have to rely mostly on pickoffs, try and get like a hero just to pop and then without committing too much, and then try and take like a 5v4 fight after the fact. I don't think like smashing him head on is really gonna work. So I feel like you really have to like push out these lanes, try and get a reaction to see
it
a hero in the
is plausible for them to win at an engage if they can start it on their terms and then also play around the Darkseer counter initiation, but that is a big order. That's a tall ask. So again, I think the recipe is the same as last time, where you split push lanes where you can, force them to separate, and if they don't, then you pressure objectives and get them, you know, low and destroyed. And so they have to come back, split up, you kill stragglers, all that kind of stuff. Right now, nothing is being pressured. They're just standing around.
Yep, sitting in their base. Lester is the one farming. They're going to find an Ember Spirit, drop a Rupture on him. He
questionable way to start that. Also pretty questionable for Nyx to go for the right-click damage instead of just impaling. Remember that Ember's always got some AoE DPS going on, so if you just run next to him with the Carapace, you start Invis, you Q him, and then you Carapace, and you chain stun all on your own, and then he dies. But because they start with Rupture, but more importantly, the Nyx doesn't use the spells, now they can counter smoke. I still think it's super dire favored, but something. Fast on the Mars.
Looking to fight here under this tier 2 mid.
Storm's leaving. They see the Storm's gone. This is a good opportunity.
Storm showing top.
That's what I was talking about.
Dire vacating the area. Nyx goes for one last range creep. That might spell doom for him though, as they commit the arena for him. Immediate punish. Yeah, just not recognizing on Dire that Storm was showing in lane. Rubik now actually might be caught out of position here. Lightmere in 2 seconds on this Rubik if they want to keep chasing. Storm still showing top. Like, this is still a good fight for Variadian if they keep chasing, but the Gleipnir unable to find anything.
No, it's just space creation. They didn't get enough fast enough.
Yep.
Next skill is good, but...
Storm is farming Aghanims. That's going to be really devastating once he picks that up.
Indeed. Still looking.
And they're going to find a Rubik. Gleipnir catches him out. Mars is going to follow up with the spear combo.
Well-deserved death.
Yeah, gonna drop the Purge on the Darkseer, unable to surge away, surrounding, and he's gonna drop Wall and Vacuum, try to bring him down. Storm is walking over here. Granola on the Bloodseeker BKB is trying to do some right-click damage. I don't know if they have enough damage now. Storm comes in, deep buyback on the Rubik. Yeah, they're gonna bring down this Mars. Not before the Bloodseeker goes down though. Storm just gets out of dodge. Rubik buys back, but they're not. I don't think they're gonna find anything else. Lifestealer. Oh, Storm did not have the mana.
Both teams are not great at walking away when they're supposed to.
I agree. They will find this Lifestealer with the Nyx Assassin.
So for Dire, they could have just lost the Nyx middle and been done with it, but instead they kept running, which made sense, and then loitered at the triangle, so then Rubik died, and then Darkseer died, and then for some reason Bloodseeker came instead of just letting it happen.
I think
so Bloodseeker's also dead.
Yeah, I think the call was like Storm was coming, so Bloodseeker was like trying to get him to clump up on him. But...
So they lost 4 people more than they were supposed to. Or 3 people, I guess.
At the end of the day, though, like, Radiant does lose 4 heroes, though. So,
get the Roche off it, so it's like they don't get punished.
Are we putting it on the Storm Spirit? You can buy out. Ags chooses to do so, so no buyback on the Storm Spirit.
I also want to say really quickly, because they'll probably watch the VOD and be like, well, if we didn't do that, then they would get Roach uncontested. No, bitch, you have a Storm Spirit, you have Blood Right, you have ways of contesting it. You can wait a little bit for people to respawn. Rubik bought back, right? Like, somebody bought back, I think it was the
Rubik.
You had ways of contesting Roach, even if you cut your losses. And especially if no one is dead in the first place, other than the next. So, not an answer, get fucked.
I would have put that a little bit differently, but I agree with you for the most part.
That's why I had to say it, my guy.
Yeah.
That's why I had to say
You're
it.
you're the color commentator.
Yeah, that's me.
Storm Spirit did pick up an
Mr.
Invis room, but they don't really find anything with it.
It's just a nice portable ward. Maybe he gets a freebie on an unsuspecting support. Unlikely at this stage, but...
Infests on the Mars. Storm Spirit still playing with the Invis, which is just now expiring. Ooh, this could be dangerous if the Mars is caught out alone. No supports behind them. Nyx is running in.
Given that no one else is with them.
Oh, the Nyx is going to scout out these two heroes. Only a Storm in the area to follow up, though.
This is super weird.
Nobody's reacting to this. They're going to try and go into Lifestealer. Mars right behind, though. Counter initiation. They pop the Lifestealer with that Orchid Burst. He's just going to BKB. Does not TP, though.
I'm just confounded by, like, the Infest. It was just the Mars and Lifestealer, and then everyone else joined.
Yeah, everyone is just chilling.
Are they trying to get, like, a pick together, just them two?
Oh, they're going to try and find this Bloodseeker top. They'll start the initiation with the Glaive near. Granola drops the BKB. No TP. Does the TP now. Right click's coming out.
Ah, he still gets it. Not punished. It was a late
punished
TP. He still lives. Son of a bitch. She'll never learn. But it does feel bad for Radiant not to get that kill. It definitely feels bad. We're going to cool down for 25. This gives them a little bit of a window to pressure.
They do get the BKB, though, not locking it in. Nyx is gonna blink in, stuns up the, I'm not sure who that is, the Ember Spirit. Storm comes in, Orchid has the Aegis, gonna pop. Mars, meanwhile, pushing away Storm's team. If they're able to instant silence this Storm, they could bring them down. Nope, able to get away.
Not quite.
Mars, meanwhile, just gets bullied by these three heroes. He's gonna go down in the wall. Ember now out of position a little bit.
They got baited by the wasted Aegis.
Yeah, able to escape. That is an Aegis for Mars.
Here.
I think
they do
that's
have
worth.
some right click damage.
Worth
for who? Radiant?
I think that Radiant are okay with that. A Mars for a Storm Aegis. There's worse things.
I think Dire can just hit this.
Choosing not to, though.
I think it's insane from the back.
Yeah, there are tier 2s available. Those are basically free.
Maybe it's not insane because they can hit the tower, so if they fall back, that'd be more upset. Getting the tier 2 is okay, I guess.
Yeah, double catapult.
Finish on Mirta. That's going to help the high ground defense. And make her a juicier target for the Storm and Nyx.
They're playing in Radiant's Triangle, as Radiant don't feel very confident to leave their base at the time being. If we look at Vision real quick. On the side of
Storm
Radiant.
is saying, let's just hold this triangle, and kill someone when they try and de-ward or whatever.
Yeah, Radiant has 0 wards on the map right now. Not even a Watcher to give them any kind of vision. So they have
6 Ops wards in stock for the Shadow Demon.
Playing completely blind.
Pay for it.
Meanwhile, they're gonna find this Shadow Demon low ground with this high ground ward. Easy pickoff.
Indeed. Mirta placing... We need to diversify the wards between these supports a little bit.
Oh yeah?
So let's just split the stack, and then that'll help out.
Oh my goodness, that's 6 obs on the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mirta had one that she just placed on the Tormentor, which is not alive right now.
Why Tormentor?
But it will be later.
You never get.
It also sees portal rotations. It's not the worst for it. And when you have 7 wards to place, you have some room to be vibes based. We'll say. Some vision is better than 0 vision, though. I got no qualms towards the Mirta.
It is something. Creeps are going to be able to bring down this Dire tier 1 bottom, so that will be the last tier 1 to fall. Vision on the side of Dire, they've basically just surrounded Radiant base in a contain, trying to see anybody come out so they can jump on them with the Storm and Nyx. Or the Darkseer, what the hell? Yeah, we're going crazy.
Colecaster has returned?
Yeah.
Hello,
What you thinking
Colecaster.
about the game? What you thinking about their road potential?
Gonna have a smoke
High
play
ground
by
seems gonna be
Radiant.
tough.
Infest bomb on the Mars. They're running out completely blind here. You look at their vision. They see the Nyx bottom. But right now, they're not finding anything. Just no vision on the map available to really tell them where they are. Ooh, Storm could be caught by the Shadow Demon. Pops on the Shadow Demon, drops the ward. Gonna see the Storm Spirit. Starts it off on him. Can they follow it up with any kind of stun? Ooh, Merita stun comes out.
We talked about this.
Nice stacking.
We talked about this.
Bringing
Let's
down
go.
the Storm. That's a huge kill. No buyback. No way to get rid of any of those disables.
Next.
And Mara's looking for something. Gonna see the tail end of Rubik here. Does he blink onto the high ground? No.
Doesn't quite get him.
Goes back.
Find it. Fortunate. So as this game does go later, mistakes are more easily punished in terms of like what you can get off of people dying. So even with 20k below and like all the issues Radiant's been having, they just like win a team fight and then get 1 or 2 picks on stragglers. It feels really solid for them, and they could be the first team to get Rex easily with how things have been going.
Storm did instantly buy that BKB off of that death. So recognizing that it's not so much of a stomp at the moment.
Could he have gotten away with a Yule's Scepter? It's okay to go BKB, it's fine. I think it's fine.
It's a little bit difficult with the Muerta ghosts, because if you mistime it on the calling, you just get silenced again.
Yeah, it doesn't work against the... That's true.
So BKB just ensures.
It has to be BKB.
Yeah.
Once you have Wind Waker, then it feels great. But that's a ways away, and then still, it makes... Like, the BKB is good. I'm not gonna flame the BKB.
They saw the Rubik...
I'll flame Mimu, always.
Yeah, they saw the Rubik telekinesis on top of this.
How does that hit them both?
It's a big one. She has the glide near big area. Drops the wall. Doesn't connect if anything. They're going to try and burst this Rubik down. Storm meanwhile in the... Actually, Storm TPing in. A lot of damage coming on the Nyx. He's going to go down. Mars finds the Rubik on the side. Oh my goodness, the Lifestealer dies so quickly to the combined efforts of the Bloodseeker and Storm Spirit. 2 buybacks on the side of Radiant on the Mars and Lifestealer. It's a 5 versus 3 at the moment. Bloodseeker with that axe just doing so much damage to that Lifestealer. All that pure damage means its armor means nothing. Radiant gonna smoke out, find the Bloodseeker, has no BKB, gonna stun him up on the tower. Do they have the follow-up to damage? They do.
Nice.
Dire just forced to run away, and this could be a high ground right here. Only 1 buyback on Dire.
I don't want them to be scared. I want them to just push.
Might as well,
Don't
right?
waste time placing tons of vision around the map or getting the triangle or...
Bottom and top are pushing in naturally. But looks like they're playing around Roche Pit, maybe seeing if it's up. Storm, gonna find a Muerta. Bring him down, he is disabled though. Holding on to the BKB for the time being. Darkseer pops the BKB. Not before Shadow Demon gets off his demonic Paragon though. 4-man vacuum, bring them solo, followed up by the Storm Aghanim's. Dude, so much damage. Oh my goodness. Storm picks up 3 kills there.
That's a pretty big deal. Now they can't do shit.
Yep. Unable to bring down that Storm Spirit.
I don't think it should have panned out that way. Radiant did not have Nerta's back.
Yeah, Mortar just got caught away from the team there to start it out. And followed up by the 4-man vacuum wall.
Nyx immediately goes scouting.
Ooh, he's just beelining towards his Lifestealer in rage. He can feel something happening.
Yeah.
Felt it coming. Able to TP
I think he
away.
passed by the Watcher, I'm not sure.
He was in Diz. He went over the...
they have vision of the triangle.
Oh yeah,
I think
saw
they might have seen the Storm TP from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they definitely had time to react naturally.
Roshan will be up. Dire will scout this out. And they will begin bringing it down. Likely going to be a pickup on the Storm Spirit again. He's one of the best Aegis carriers in the game. And this was the second Roshan, so Banner is available. Not sure if they really need it, as there hasn't really been a lot of like sieges going on either side this game.
The Banner will be pretty nice to have. No one easily kills it except for the Shadow Demon illusions. So those are easily answered. I guess Lifestealer can rage for it, but Lifestealer can rage for it. Rupture is decent against that, but he can also just like rage hit it and then infest instead of like running all the way back.
I'm
You do
curious.
have answers to the guild banner, even if it's not the cleanest thing. It's like doable.
There's a smoke mid, Rubik blinking forward, getting some vision down. I'm curious to see if they wait for the catapult wave before committing this banner, or if they're just gonna send it.
Nah. I don't think it's worth waiting for the catapult.
Yeah, it's gonna come up 10 seconds, and then be in the lane in like 30 seconds after that. It's just nice because the catapult doesn't re-aggro off the tower, so you're able to just keep that invulnerable creep there.
I see.
Versus normal creeps, which as soon as you hit them, they will
Yep.
aggro onto you and just run it out from the banner and die. But the catapults are incoming, 2 of them, in this mid lane.
Not that I'm suggesting this, but I'm pretty sure Lifestealer can infest an invulnerable creep and then blow it up.
Bloodseeker ruptured a Lifestealer illusion there in the mid lane, so that is 1 charge of rupture going down.
1 charge down. I haven't seen this Nyx Vendetta up to the high ground even a single time for momentary vision. This guy's a coward.
I mean, you're facing a lot of heroes that can just grab you.
Also, you can Vendetta bottom, like below this Raxen tower, through the trees, and then place vision behind and break your Vendetta while still being fog. And then you have great siege vision for bottom.
Maybe a little bit
much
too
you need Vendetta
advanced
to do
here.
that
What you're
because
describing
like
is a very advanced
It's not
play.
too advanced. It's not too advanced.
They dropped the banner under tower.
Apologies for having standards.
The
My
siege
bad.
begins on the mid tier 3. Darkseer
I'm listening and I'm learning or some shit.
punching the wave. Arena comes out. Darkseer BKB is to walk it off. Stormseer will blink in, find 2 heroes, Ember and Muerta. Muerta safe for the time being. Ender Spirit pops the BKB. Getting very low. Lifestealer is just gonna Nightfall out during the middle of a fight, leaving his team for dead. Muerta goes down, followed swiftly by the Mars. Muerta buys back. Ember caught up by this Bloodseeker. It's very difficult now. I don't think they have the damage. And you can see Muerta's gonna be able to poke these heroes with Deadshot is the thing. So the Storm sees a 2-man pickup, kills the Muerta, dieback on her. Shadow Demon, do they have the vision? They do. They will bring him down. Instant buyback.
I think Radiant didn't know how they were supposed to kill the guild banner. Instead they had the mirror to do it with her passive. And then she got gone and Shadow Demon had to imprison her. They tried to make the best of what they could within this arena. Yeah, it's not like they're not losing because of the way that high ground defense went. It's just a cascade of things,
Yeah.
decision. I definitely would have liked to see this Nyx Rubik duo get punished a little more.
I mean, Dire played their combo pretty well. They just basically sent the Nyx in to find targets, and the Storm Spirit jumped those targets. And Radiant just wasn't fast enough to really respond to those kind of kills. That basically happened all game long.
Radiant's draft
Snowball.
just manifested such that they relied on their Mars to make plays and like very rarely made any sort of attempts without Arena, which I think was a big mistake. They definitely could have gotten a lot more done.
Dire opting to go
You could
for
also
the
set them too long to go
megas.
for infest bombs.
They're opting to go for
opportunity
the
for
megas
legendary
instead of ending the game. So the game is still playing out.
Yeah, they're fucking cowards, but they're gonna give
Gotta
it.
hang out in the base. It's gonna be a while before mega creeps get there. We're to a 10-second on the death timer. There's probably gonna be one more fight here. Storm has Aegis for another 40 seconds. I don't think they have the time to wait that out. Strides with the arena and Fest Bomb finds
And
2.
the
Blitz
steal.
getting super low. Storm just jumps on the Shadow Demon immediately though. Mars using himself to try and survive a little bit longer. They find the Bloodseeker, bring him down. This lifesteal all alone on the front now. Just trying to right click, just trying to lifesteal to stay alive. He will die. Die back on him. Looking a little
Oh,
grim
I
here.
almost got the storm, not quite.
Trying to bring this Muerta down on the Nyx Assassin. Mars impales away, skewers Storm, jumps in, brings down the Mars. Muerta's running away with a sliver of HP as the Ember now chasing into 3 heroes. They're just surrounding him though. Stunning him up. Storm will come over, stun him, bring him down. Has a buyback, chooses to use it. To now 2 versus 4. No Bloodseeker. Does have the
Right,
buyback.
Mierta, here's the play. Buy 3 Ironwood branches, place them, use that for your ags, get them off your ancient. You gotta go now.
There you go.
Sir, yes, sir.
Do it, do it, do it.
Nah, he doesn't know the tech. Doesn't know the tech. Oh no.
There, just right click on this one. Mars gets his buyback. Maybe doesn't see it. Could buy back, could blink arena.
That's
Chooses to use it after the Ember
unfortunate.
dies. Yeah, probably not expecting his buyback to come up. Rubik will
Still on
blink
arena
in.
again?
Arena Searing Chains, what a combo. That will be the game.
Alright, they did it. Fuck.
Good job, Arpaz as legend, winning at this best of 2. Sorry for the technical difficulties with this cast, but we managed to pull through. Thanks, sorry for joining me for this one. Oh, my Discord. You still there?
I am still there.
Alright, my Discord did a weird thing. Anyway, I was just saying thank you for co-casting with me.
Yeah, of course.
Oh. Pretty good execution by Arpaz one as legend. Nice team they got there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go join this victory celebration. So thank you all for watching. I've been Anthony. And Star's been sorry. Have you been sorry?
I'm sorry. My cat's, her name is Kamiko.
How about Kamiko?
Yeah.
And thanks all for watching.
Yeah.